Alright, so in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to get a Kanye West runaway, distorted, auto-tune, whatever you want to call it, type vocal on FL Studio. This is an iconic Kanye West style that has been replicated millions of times by people like Jaden Smith, etc. But before we begin, consider subscribing and hitting the bell for more videos like this. It's free and you can change your mind whenever you want. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we're in the lab right here, and the first thing we obviously want to start off with is Autotune. So I have over here Autotune Pro, and these are the settings that I have. So obviously first you gotta have the key of the song. I'm literally just gonna riff on the runaway key, so I have it on C sharp minor. And the two main things that you want to focus on, it's extremely easy. All you really want is retune speed at 0 and humanize at 0. What is that, you might say? So retune speed is the rate at which the input audio is moved to the target pitches, basically how fast your vocals are corrected. Meanwhile, humanize is just adds realism to sustained notes at high retune speeds. This basically is just how fast it corrects, and the faster it is, the more robotic you sound, while humanize is to make it sound as human as possible. Now, we don't want it to sound human, so we crank that shit to 0, and the retune speed as well. We want it to correct as quickly as possible. The next thing that you want is a fruity multi-band compressor, obviously just to make the vocals a lot brighter. And I chose the fruity multi-band compressor. Now the reason I chose this one compared to the limiter or the fruity compressor is that this one targets 3 specific frequencies of your vocal. So you don't just target the vocal in and of itself, you can target— oh shit, I am extremely sorry for the lack of professionalism. So this targets the low frequencies, this targets the mid frequencies, and this targets the high frequencies. I literally just chose the bright preset because, as the name implies, it makes your vocal sound brighter. I'm not gonna show you how it sounds yet because obviously it doesn't sound as good until we have everything added together. So just a quick break from this video, but
if you're trying to release your music on Spotify, Apple Music, you name it, click the link in the description below because it will give you 7% off DistroKid, which is easily the best music distributor you can be using. DistroKid's already just 20 bucks, so 7% off that is just even better. It helps me out when you do it, so it's a win-win situation. So consider doing it, just clicking the first link in the description.
But anyway, so once you have this, then you go to probably the meat of the operation, which is the fruity fast distortion. So I have it over here, and I essentially just use the fuzz preset, which is going to give your vocals a fuzzy, as the name implies, sound to it. Now I will show you how it sounds right now, because there is a big thing that you're gonna want to correct later on with the following plugins, how it sounds. So right now I'm just gonna show you how it sounds now, and you're gonna notice a very big flaw with it. Right, so what the fuck just happened? As you can probably tell, even while I wasn't recording the background noise, and I'm surprised because I usually never get this, especially in this room, but the background noise, it feeds into the distortion, and I guess as well with the help of the compression, and it sounds, as you can literally see it right here. I'm not gonna talk. There's just a bunch of background noise playing when we don't want it to. So how do we fix this? I originally thought that there wasn't any way of fixing it, and I was just gonna say that if you want to remove it, you just have to kind of cut it up over here. So this is like an audio or whatever. You just kind of cut it up with the knife or the slicing tool, and to make it smoother, you go over here from declicking to crossfade. This isn't ideal and it takes a lot of time, so a much quicker way that I found out is basically you go over here, fruity limiter. You don't really have to touch the ceiling. I have it over here just because why not, but the main thing you want to focus on is the noise gate. Now what this basically does is anything underneath the threshold gets completely removed once you turn the gain down, and since I have the gain down, you won't hear it. So let me show you the difference between with or without. With, without, without. Right, so how did I do this though? It's very simple. Obviously you go to the noise gate, and I have the threshold at about negative 19.4 decibels. basically you can hear, I'm not gonna talk. The purple, as you can see, is the background noise we want to remove. So we would go over here, and at about, in my opinion, it was perfect the way it was, because as you can see, sometimes there's some spikes that might come in if you leave it a little lower. Then the main thing, you just want to turn the gain down, all the way down, and you basically don't hear anything. And the release, I mean, it's basically just to make the removal of it smoother. I like it how it is over here at 50 milliseconds, so I'm not really going to change it. And then one final thing for the operation, really just to remove the muddiness in the mix slightly, is the Fruity Parametric EQ. Have it over here, and you just remove anything in the sub. So how do you do that? You go to default, you go to 1, type high pass, then order steep, either steep 8 or steep 6. It really doesn't matter in my opinion. And I try to put the 1 at about where this line is, where the C2 is, so about here, and it removes all the sub bass while still keeping the bass and everything else, obviously. So everything combined, it sounds like this.
That was big cringe. But anyway, boys, this has been the video for today. Hopefully this has been helpful to you for whatever. I don't know why you would want to sound like this. It sounds like ear rape, but you know, to each their own. Oh shit.
But if it has been helpful, consider subscribing and hitting the bell for more tutorials like this. I do it on a wide array of genres: hip-hop, R&B, indie, you name it, on a bunch of DAWs: FL Studio, GarageBand, Audacity, you name it. I also make music. It doesn't sound like this, but I mean, if you're into trippy pop, consider checking it out. This has been your boy. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Can we break this game?